Welcome to the Epic Summary Podcast. Today we're diving into a book that has been an absolute phenomenon, a permanent fixture on bestseller lists, and a genuine life changer for millions. We're talking about Atomic Habits by James Clear.
I am so excited to talk about this one. You see it everywhere, and for good reason. It's one of those books that people don't just read, they actually use it. It's practical, it's powerful, and honestly, it just makes sense.
It really does, and I think what makes it so credible, before we even get into the ideas, is the author's own story. The summary we're looking at tells it perfectly. As a high school student, James Clear had this horrific accident where a baseball bat flew into the stands and smashed into his face.
It sounds like something out of a movie. A broken nose, fractures, dangerous brain swelling. It's a terrifying story. His recovery took months, and his dream of being a pro baseball player was basically in tatters.
Exactly. And he didn't have some miraculous overnight recovery. He had to rebuild his life, his skills, and his confidence piece by piece. He did it by relying on the power of small, consistent gains. These tiny habits over his time in college compounded to the point where he was named an academic All-American. It's an incredible comeback story.
And that makes him the perfect person to write this book. He's not just a researcher talking about theories. He's lived it. He used these atomic habits to literally put his life back together. That gives his advice so much weight.
It really does. And that brings us to the core philosophy of the book. The title itself, Atomic Habits, says it all. Atomics as in tiny, like an atom, but also as in a source of immense power. The central idea is captured in a quote from the book that's featured in the summary. Habits are the compound interests of self-improvement.
I love that analogy. We all understand compound interest with money. A small amount invested consistently grows into a fortune over time. He's saying the same thing applies to our habits. A 1% improvement each day doesn't feel like much, but over a year you end up, like 37 times better? The growth is exponential.
Right. It's not about making a massive earth-shattering change tomorrow. It's about getting just a tiny bit better every single day. That feels so much more achievable, doesn't it? It takes the pressure off.
Completely. So if that's the why, let's get into the how. How does he say we should actually build these habits? The summary lays out his core framework really well. It's a 4-step pattern that every single habit follows.
Yep, this is the engine behind all our behaviors, good or bad. The 4 steps are cue, craving, response, and reward. Let's break that down with a simple, everyday example. Think about your phone.
Okay, my phone. I'm listening.
Step 1 is the cue. That's the trigger. Your phone buzzes or lights up on the table. That's the cue. Step 2 is the craving. That's the motivation or desire. You suddenly have a craving to know who messaged you or what notification you got.
I know that feeling all too well. Then comes step 3, the response, which is the actual habit. You pick up the phone and unlock it. And finally, step 4, the reward. You get the satisfaction of reading the message or clearing the notification. That little hit of information satisfies the craving.
And that reward teaches your brain, hey, that was good. Let's do that again next time the cue appears. And boom, the habit loop is reinforced. This simple loop cue, craving, response, reward, runs our lives on autopilot, often without us even realizing it.
So the genius of the book isn't just identifying this loop, but giving us a manual on how to consciously re-engineer it. And that's where his 4 laws of behavior change come in. This is the really practical, actionable part.
This is the gold. He creates 1 law for each step of the habit loop. So for building a good habit, like reading more, here's how it works. The first law is make it obvious. This targets the cue. Don't just hope you'll remember to read. Put the book you want to read on your pillow. You literally can't get into bed without seeing it.
So you're engineering the cue to happen. He also talks about habit stacking here, right? Like linking a new habit to an existing one. After I make my morning coffee, I will read 1 page of my book. Your coffee becomes the cue.
Exactly. That's a perfect example. Then the second law is make it attractive, which targets the craving. You have to want to do it. So maybe you start by reading a thriller you can't put down, not a dense philosophy text. You make the idea of the habit more appealing.
And you can use what he calls temptation bundling. Pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do, like, I can only listen to my favorite podcast while I'm on the treadmill. You start to crave going to the gym because it's linked to something you love.
Yes. Okay, so on to the third law, make it easy. This is for the response. You want to reduce the friction as much as possible. This is where his 2-minute rule is so brilliant. Any new habit should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed becomes read 1 page. Do yoga becomes take out my yoga mat.
It's so simple, but it's all about lowering the barrier to just get started, because getting started is always the hardest part. Once you've read one page, you might just keep going. And the final law?
The fourth law is make it satisfying, which is all about the reward. Your brain needs an immediate win to want to repeat the behavior. For a habit like saving money, the reward is far in the future, so you need to create an immediate reward. Maybe every time you skip buying a coffee and transfer that money to savings, you move a paperclip from one jar to another. Seeing that jar fill up is a satisfying visual reward.
So to build a good habit, make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. And what I love is that he just inverts this for breaking bad habits. Make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. If you want to stop eating junk food, don't just use willpower. Make it invisible by not having it in the house. Make it difficult by having to drive to the store to get it. It's about designing your environment for success.
Exactly. It's such an elegant and comprehensive system for looking at your own behavior. And honestly, this framework is so powerful. We're really just scratching the surface here of all the different techniques he shares for each of these laws.
Absolutely. The book is packed with so many more examples and nuanced strategies for every single law. If this framework is resonating with you, we highly recommend picking up a copy of the book. We've put a link in the episode description for you to check it out.
So we have this amazing framework, but there's one more practical tool the summary highlights that is key for consistency. And that's the habit tracker.
Ah, yes, the famous Seinfeld method. The story goes that comedian Jerry Seinfeld's advice for being a better comic was to get a big wall calendar and a red marker. For every day you do your task of writing jokes, you put a big red X over that day. After a few days, you'll have a chain. And your only job next is to not break the chain.
It's so simple, but it works on a deep psychological level. It makes the habit obvious, attractive, and most importantly, it's incredibly satisfying to draw that X each day. It's an immediate reward that reinforces the behavior.
It gamifies the process, and Clear adds a really important rule to this, which is a total game changer. Never miss twice. Life happens. You'll have a bad day, you'll get sick, you'll miss a day. That's fine. But the rule is you get back on track the very next day. One missed day is an accident. 2 missed days is the start of a new bad habit.
That little rule gives you permission to be human while still holding you accountable. It prevents that all-or-nothing thinking where one slip-up makes you feel like a failure and you just give up entirely. It's about progress, not perfection.
Right. But there's one more layer to this that I think is the real secret sauce of the whole book. It's the idea of identity-based habits. It's not just about what you do, it's about who you become.
Okay, unpack that. That sounds really important.
Well, Clear says the most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. The goal isn't to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. The goal isn't to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become.
Wow, that's a powerful reframe. So instead of focusing on an outcome, you focus on your identity. Every time you go for a run, you're not just getting closer to a fitness goal, you're casting a vote for, I am a runner. You're reinforcing that identity.
Exactly. And it makes decisions so much easier. A runner doesn't debate whether to run on a cold morning. That's just what they do. It changes the internal conversation from, I have to do this, to, this is who I am. It's the ultimate form of intrinsic motivation.
So to bring it all together, Atomic Habits is a masterclass in behavioral change. It's not about mustering up superhuman willpower. It's about designing your environment and your routine strategically so that good habits are the path of least resistance.
Yeah, the big takeaways for me are, first, that small atomic habits are the key. Think 1% better every day because that compounds into massive change. Second, understand that every habit runs on that cue, craving, response, reward loop. Third, use the 4 laws make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying to build the habits you want. And finally, the most powerful part, focus on your identity. Decide the person you want to be, and then prove it to yourself with small wins.
It truly is. We've really just given you a highlight reel today. The book itself is so rich with compelling stories, fascinating scientific research, and dozens of practical templates and ideas you can apply to your own life immediately.
It's definitely one of those essential reads for anyone interested in self-improvement, productivity, or just understanding why we do what we do. If you're feeling inspired to make some positive changes, we can't recommend it enough. Go grab a copy of Atomic Habits by James Clear. The link is right there in our episode description.
Thank you for listening to the Epic Summary Podcast.
We'll catch you on the next one.